Hi, everyone. Welcome to SBR Sports Picks. His name is Jimmy the Bag. My name is Peter Loshak. This is the Loshak the Bag Show. Afternoon version, 6 o'clock Eastern Time, 3 o'clock Pacific Time version for Monday, December 11th. Of course, Jimmy the Bag and I analyze all these sports betting events from a betting and odds perspective, and we put our money where our mouths are. Right, Jim?
That's right.
That's the great part about this show. Everyone gives their opinions, but if there's no accountability, who cares? Say whatever the fuck you want. There's no accountability. But what we do, we put it all on the line. We track it. Major accountability. Perfect 100% accountability, which is tough to do, Jim.
It's tough to do. It was very tough for me to do last week.
I think that's why people appreciate this show, though. Jimmy the Bag, you were down in NBA, but then you had a big Friday. And a couple more days like that, you will be even or positive in NBA. So let's see what we can come up with today. All right, Jimmy the Bag. Let's start with college basketball. Of course, there are a bunch of college basketball games, a small slate of games. Is there anything that you want to add to the college basketball card today, Jim?
Yes, I have. I'm adding 3 plays.
Okay.
I will start with South Florida. The Bulls have 9 players averaging at least 14.9 minutes a game, led by 6'6" Peyton Banks, who averages 13.4 points, 4.2 boards. He creates a lot of matchup problems. They have 3 bigs that they can throw at you at any time. 6'11", 214-pound Malik Martin is a 6'11" junior transferred from USC. He's playing 28.1 minutes, 9.2 points, 5.6 boards. They have 6'10", 247-pound senior Bronx native Isaiah Manderson. He missed the early part of the season. He's only been back for the last 3 games. And then they also have the 7'2", 250-pound Serbian that plays 18.7 minutes a game, just averages 3.1 points and 2.9 boards. But they have a lot of different looks they can throw at you. Florida International has 6'9" junior forwards Hassan Hussein and Jay Harvey. Neither are very good. Their only other big is 6'11" Senegalese El Hadji Dieng, who plays 10.5 minutes a game. They have Eric Lockett. You know, he's a good guard. But I just think South Florida can give you a lot of different angles, create some matchup problems. Definitely in this game, they're going to deliver some matchup problems. So I am taking South Florida on the spread.
Okay, -2.5. It's gone down a bit from the opener. It's now 2.5 market wide. So -2.5, -106 at Pinnacle right now is the best line that we can give you. Yeah, there's not a lot of. There's only 6 games right now on SBR odds and a few other games that some books have. The only thing I was thinking about, a couple of plays I was thinking about that I did bet. I did take Texas Southern on the first half against Oregon +12. Texas Southern was a preseason favorite to win their conference this year. Oregon, we've seen what's happened with them right this year. Jim had a great call against them when they played Boise State. And they wound up losing outright. Texas Southern has actually not been a great first half team this year so far, but so maybe they'd be a better bet on the full game. But I'm willing to take a shot with them, and I will give that one as an official play. I did bet it, so why not give it as an official play? I will take Texas Southern on the first half at +12, which is. There's no 12.5s available, so I'll take +12. UWager has -105, so I will take Texas Southern first half +12 -105.
I am very happy you're doing that because I'm on Texas Southern full game. They're not as bad as their 0-8 record looks. No. They lost by 2 to Toledo, lost by 7. All their games have been on the road, so 2 at Toledo, they lost by 7 at Clemson, lost by 13 at Syracuse, lost by 2 at Washington State. They, all 8 road games, they played at Kansas and Gonzaga already this year. They have, the reason why we took Boise State over the Ducks was because the Ducks are a small team that's not very good defensively, and we thought that Boise State's length would create problems. Now, Texas Southern can't quite do what Boise State does, but they do have some nice spots. I like, especially, they have 7'2", 240-pound junior center Trayvon Reed is averaging 11.1 points, 9.9 boards. He should be able to corral every board if he keeps his hand in the air. He's their only big. They have a 6'8" senior Marquise Salmon on the bench. They also have an electric 5'7" DeMontre Jefferson, who averaged 23 points a game. The Ducks just don't have any bigs. Their freshman Troy Brown leads this team in boards at 7.5. They have 2 6'9" forwards, Paul White and Kenny Wooten, that are just okay on the glass. Peyton Pritchard and Elijah Brown are 2 good guards, but I just think this is a nice spot for Texas Southern. They are the only big dog that I like today.
Yeah. So I certainly would not disagree with the play on the full game. I'm just a little bit concerned that Oregon's talent might show its face more in the second half than in the first half. So, but we can give you you can take the full game, which is a plus 20.5. Let's see, Texas Southern plus. It's a split line, 20 or 20.5. So the best line for 20.5 is minus 110 at the Greek, and you wager. Everyone else has 20. All right, a lot of great comments. I love the comments every day. I live for these comments. I'm focusing in right now, boys. So I'm kind of like I feel like in my brain, the handicapping part of my brain is taking over, and the comedy part of my brain is taking a back seat for a couple days, maybe. I don't know. We'll see. But I am going to read the comments very soon, and let's see. All right. Let's get back to the rest of the card in college basketball. What else are you liking, Jim, if anything?
I'm liking DePaul. I'm going to take DePaul in the full game. They have a lot of length at guard and forward, create matchup problems all over the floor. Junior guard Max Struss is 6'6" junior guard, averaging 15.4 points, 4.7 boards, 2 assists. Eli Kane's another 6'6" guard, averaging 13.2 points, 5.4 boards, 3.6 assists. They also have a 6'11", 240-pound Croatian senior Marin Maric, who averages 11.6 points, 5.2 boards. And Alabama A&M is really bad. They made just 4 made field goals in the first half of their last game against Austin Peay. They turned the ball over 26 times in that game. Now, they've had 9 days to sit back and think about how bad they are. Hopefully, they practiced. 6-foot guard leading scorer at 12.9 points per game. Deidrick Petty and his backcourt mate, 6'2", Arthur Johnson at 12.5 points per game. Will have a lot of trouble with DePaul's length. Their guards are just so much longer, and they can defend these little guards well. I think this is a really good spot, obviously, for DePaul. I mean, they're huge favorites, but I think they have, even if they get up to a big lead, their bench is strong enough to continue that lead. Okay, well, this line is a split line. It's 24.5 market wide, but the Greek has 24. UWager has 25, so that's kind of interesting. So if you want DePaul, we can give you the Greek line at minus 24, minus 110. That one makes me a little bit nervous, Jim, but, it's just I'm not sure that DePaul is the kind of team that should be that big of a favorite against anyone, but I can understand why you want to take them here. DePaul, minus 24, minus 110. That what you want, Jim? That is what I want.
Okay, so far, Jim's on DePaul minus 24, South Florida minus 2.5, and Texas Southern plus 20.5. And I'm on the Texas Southern first half plus 12, minus 105. As far as sides are concerned, a lot of people were asking about the Florida International South Florida game on the total, and unfortunately, I do not have an opinion on that total. It makes me nervous. Let's see, who was it that asked about the under? Someone asked about the friggin' under. Who's that guy who asked about the under? Where the hell is that guy who asked about the under? I hope it wasn't already deleted. You can only save 200 comments here. Someone asked about the under in the South Florida game, and it's obviously a very low total, so it's understandable why someone would be leaning towards the under. That one makes me nervous, though. I don't quite like the over, but I'm probably going to stay off that one. And anyone who bets the under, I hope you cash. But I'm staying off that one as far as the total is concerned. There are 2 first half totals that I did also bet. Not sure if they're good bets or not, but I did bet the first half over in the Bryant Louisville game, and I also took a shot with the first half over in the Northwestern Chicago State game. I'm not sure that Northwestern is going to try to slow it down, as they often do against the tough teams. And the first half over is 67 in the Chicago State Northwestern game at Pinnacle, minus 113, and about 69 or 69.5 in the Bryant Louisville game. Both of those make me, they're very, very borderline plays. I did bet both of them, small, but those are 2 leans that I have. The Texas Southern first half is the only one that I really like enough to give as a public play. Might give either of those 2 first half leans by the end of this show when we recap everything. But as of right now, those are the only 2 leans I have. South Florida, Florida International on the total, and the side I'm completely passing on. Drake and Minnesota, I don't know if you have anything to say about that one, Jim. Slight lean to Minnesota at that line. They're coming off a loss, and I think they want to, establish their dominance here. But, 20 points is a lot for a game like this. So that's a pass for me, too. You have anything to say about that one, Jim?
Yeah, I'm staying away from the Drake-Minnesota game. The Gophers have now lost 3 of 4, fallen out of the top 25. Their defense has completely disappeared. Arkansas shot 57% off them. They also had 0 bench points versus Miami, 13 bench points versus Arkansas. The only guy they can trust off the bench is freshman Isaiah Washington. This is a complete 180 I was not expecting from this Gopher team. I really like to look at them at the beginning of the year. The Bulldogs are a little team led by 6'1" senior forward Reed Timmer, averaging 22.1 points while hitting 56% from 3. They got Nick McGlynn at 6'8", 223 pounds. He's the only starter over 6'3". Get him in foul trouble, and the Bulldogs are screwed. They have a 6'10", 220-pound junior, Casey Schlatter, but he plays about 17 minutes a game, 5.9 points, 4.8 boards. They get rebounded by every opponent. In their 19-point victory over Omaha, they had just 5 turnovers. So they are good with the ball, but they can be exploited. But I don't think Minnesota really has the bigs to do it. So I don't really find it. I couldn't find an angle.
Okay, here's a comment from Native Queen. Bryant University plus 16 first half. Louisville sucks first half. Now, I don't know if that's as good as the last comment that she made. If you remember, she said take the first quarter in the Cleveland-Indiana game over at whatever. And that one soared the F over in the first quarter. It was like in the 60s by the end of the first quarter. Native Queen, I remember that. I remember that call. I remember that post. I remember that pick. She said first quarter over whatever in the Indiana-Cleveland game, and she was dead on with that one. That one soared over in the first quarter. Now she's saying take Bryant first half. Louisville sucks on the first half. Bryant plus 16 on the first half. I was thinking about the over on the first half again at 69, and also on the first half over 67 in the Chicago State Northwestern game. All right, Native Queen says Minnesota bounces back tonight. Yeah, I'm not going to lay 20 with them, but that would be my slight lean. Johnny Redbeard says, what in the fuck is going on? Let's Eat Monday is my new favorite show all time. Back on Pete, my man, looking sharp as always. Thanks so much, Johnny Redbeard. And Armin Bulagic says, this is best betting show, period. Thank you so much, Armin Bulagic. Really appreciate that one. Thank you so much. And holy shit, Native Queen said, I made me a bumper sticker that say, I love the Loshak the Bag Show.
Really?
There you go. Native Queen, thanks so much. And once again, awesome call on the first quarter over in that Cleveland, Indiana game very recently. Brilliant call, Native Queen. Absolutely nailed that one.
With the Bryant University Louisville game, leading scorer for Bryant, Adam Grant, missed last game. I was trying to figure out why and whether he'll be available for this game, and it was difficult. I couldn't. They're looking good. They got this new kid, Ike Ndumba, at point, and he put up 17 points, 11 assists, 6 boards in their 18-point loss to Memphis, and that was without leading scorer Adam Grant. And because I couldn't find out what was going on with Adam Grant, it made me want to stay away from it.
Absolutely. Maxwell Smart, 420, saying Loshak is a killer in that backwards hat. Thank you much. Thank you very much, Maxwell Smart. I'm focusing on these friggin' numbers here. All right, Ryan Lopez says, watch his show every day. Loshak is an OG. Thank you so much, Ryan Lopez. Let's get back to it. All right, I guess we've broken down the 6 games on the card. There is one other game that is not on SBR odds right now, but is a game that some books have, and that is the Hartford game. I took them at +1. Now they're down to now they're up to -1. So I got burned doing that on Friday. That my only loss was one of those extra games. I took Maine, which was a loser. Everything else was a winner. But I did take Hartford -1. That would be a loser as well. Maybe I'll give that one also by the end of this show. And again, my only other leans that I would even consider leans are the Bryant Louisville first half over at 69 and the Chicago State Northwestern first half over at 67. Texas Southern first half +12 is a pick, and everything else is going to be a pass for me. Again, Jimmy the Bag liking DePaul -24, Texas Southern +20.5, and South Florida -2.5, -106. And that's it. Shall we move on to the next segment, Jim?
Well, we didn't touch the Chicago State Northwestern game.
Okay.
If people want to talk about it, it's small card, so we should probably hammer it. Northwestern, I think they're just bad at defending the perimeter, and they don't have the bigs to take care of the glass. Junior forward Vic Law is doing a good job. 2.6 boards. 6'8" junior center Derek Pardon, 11.6 points, 6.1 boards. They're led by senior guards Scotty Lindsey and Bryant McIntosh. That's where they have the advantage. 2 smart senior guards. Combined, they average 30.5 points, 7.8 boards, 7.3 assists. Lindsey's a scorer. McIntosh is a distributor. But this Chicago State Cougars team is terrible. Ranked 339th in the nation, allowing 85.1 points a game. They're 2-10. Their 2 wins came against Silver Lake College and East West University. Coach Tracy Dildy lets everybody have a chance at failing. 13 players average more than 8.8 minutes a game. They have Deontay Simmons, who delivers some size at 6'8", 230, and thank God for him because this team is tiny. Junior Fred Simmons Jr. is the leading scorer at 16.1 points, but they are a bad team. So and then a couple people on the chat are saying that Northwestern's just going to roll, and I do see that as a real possibility. It's just, I believe it's at 28. Is it 28 and a half?
Yes, it's well, actually, it's 27 now. It's down to 27, around 27 and a half. Yeah, I mean, obviously Northwestern was had very high expectations to start the year. A little bit underwhelming so far relative to their preseason expectations, and you know, I do expect them to sort of trend more towards their preseason expectations, maybe in conference play as the year wears on. That's for sure. All right. So do you want to make a play there, or
no?
Or?
I'm good.
Okay, you're good. All right. So let's move on to the NBA. Jimmy the Bag in the NBA. Of course, some big news here and a big line move, attendant line move is that Kyrie Irving's out. Right? You saw that, right?
I did.
So Jimmy the Bag and I both had. You had the full first half, right?
Just first half.
Jimmy just had the first half at 3.5. I had that one as well. I took the full game at 7.5. It's now down to 4.5 or 4. And I also gave the under at 198.5. I guess I'm glad that I gave it, but I am almost definitely going to pull that one. I don't like the under anymore with all these guys out for Boston. It's going to change up, I think, their defensive strategies, and I think it'll be a more normal scoring game. So I'll start off right now. I'm going to throw on the over. So I'm going to take the Chicago game over. It's 194.5 or 194. The Greek has 194. So I'm taking the over. 194 minus 110. So now I got the under 198.5 and the over at 194. I'll either lose the juice on that one, or I might get a middle. That would be nice. Two nice free units there. If I just lose the juice, that's fine. But I'm definitely pulling the over, pulling the under, and I'm going to stay with my full game bet. But I think I'm thinking about pulling the first half bet though. Jimmy the Bag, what's your take on this game as of right now?
Well, I mean, Dan, I wish I had maybe hit it a little harder earlier today, obviously. Dan Kelly got the money line earlier today.
Yeah, very nice. There you go. There you go.
Feeling good about this. As I said earlier, with Portis, Mirotic, Markkanen, and Lopez, this Bulls team has a nice group of bigs.
Yeah.
They can do a lot of different things, give you a lot of different looks. They can get guys in foul trouble. I think that we're going to find value with them moving forward. But I'm just going to stick with my first half. I think that Horford's knees are barking. I don't know if it's been official whether he's in or out yet. But, with Kyrie out of the lineup, maybe they sit Horford too. I think this is a good spot for the Bulls.
Yeah. Okay. I'm definitely pulling the under, and I'm definitely going to stick with the full game. And I'm thinking about pulling my first half bet as well. Right now, I could do it on the other side at minus 110 for Boston, which would put me again at a nice little middle. I'm just concerned that Boston, with no Irving, comes out, a little bit more motivated and on fire that we would expect, and then the game goes down to the wire, and it probably is relatively close. So I like the full game bet on Chicago plus 7.5. I'm glad I got that one, but I'm thinking about pulling the Boston first half, Jim, to be perfectly honest. Pulling the Chicago first half.
I understand the thought process there. I definitely do. I'm going to stick with my first half at plus 3.5. What would I get the first half for the Bulls right now?
For the Bulls right now, it's 1.5 or 2 market wide.
Yeah, I understand the angle. Irving goes out. These guys step it up all over the floor. Yeah. But I'm going to stick with what I got. Okay.
It is a very, very tricky one. And here we go. Michael Glassman now likes the Boston-Chicago over. And I would kind of agree with you there, Michael Glassman. That's why I pulled the under. Again, I might get a middle on that one, but if I had to give a bet right now, I would be leaning the over on that one. Okay, so let's move on. I was also thinking about a shot with the Clippers as a home dog here against Toronto. In the morning show, it was 5.5. Now, if I want it, I would have to take either the U wager or the Greek line at plus 5. In the morning show, of course, people gave the opinion, which is I'm sure is we wouldn't disagree with too strongly, that the Clippers are a dumpster fire right now.
Yeah, and I don't agree with that, actually. And, I've hated on the Clippers hard all year.
Yeah.
I do see Gallinari being a huge help, and when Teodosic gets back, I think that's another huge help. But I have decided to take the Raptors on this game.
Okay.
Take the full game by the spread. I've already sent it out, and I'm looking forward to grabbing it.
Okay, so you want the line we can give you now, which would be minus 4.5, minus 108.
Perfect.
Toronto minus 4.5, minus 108. And I guess we can go. Let's go head to head, Jimmy the Bag. Let's go head to head. I'll take the Clippers plus 5, minus 110. I could get a push and Jim could win here. Again, when you're line shopping, you do get the best line. This is a perfect example of that. I'm taking the Clippers plus 5, minus 110. That's at the Greek and U wager. And Jim's taking Toronto minus 4.5. That's everywhere else. The best line is minus 108 at Pinnacle. So Jimmy the Bag and I going head to head. Obviously, Toronto has been absolutely steamrolling all comers recently. And we'll see if they can do it again here against the Clippers. I did give a play on the under in the New Orleans-Houston game. I got 228 minus 109, and that line is now dropped to a 226, so I'm just going to stick with that one as well. Anything else you want to add or subtract from your card today,
Yeah,
Jim?
I wish I got it earlier because it's not moved. Well, the money's moved where I'm going to add money to it. After breaking down this Heat-Grizzlies game and really taking a look at the rosters and looking at the way the Heat have been playing and how they're going to want to handle the pace, I am going to take the under in the Heat at Grizzlies game. I wish I had taken it in the morning. Unfortunately, I didn't, and I'll have to take it with at a worse number, but I will take it here.
Okay, well, we can line shop for you, Jim. We're looking around. It's 193.5 or 194, so we can give you 194 minus 105 at Pinnacle right now.
I didn't realize I could still get a 194.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, nice.
See, you know why?
Because
shopping. You didn't line shop. Yeah, exactly. It's like, if there's a pair of shoes and you didn't realize you could get it for half price across the street. Why is that? Because you didn't look across the street. You got to shop. You got to do a little line shopping, right, Jim?
Got to shop.
Now, I'm not saying I understand line shopping can be annoying, although SBR Odds makes it extremely easy. It's all there, Jim. It's all there. All you got to do is just glance across the screen, and you can see the best line very quickly. I'm doing that right now. Memphis under 194 minus 105. That is a current line at Pinnacle. Other places also have 194, including Intertops, friend of the show, sponsor of the show. And you can see that it is headed down in some places. Bookmaker now down to 193. Heritage in other places 193.5. But Bet 365 and Pinnacle and a few other places still at 194 minus 105. And that's the line we're going to give you, Jim. All right. You also took the Portland team total over at 102.5, right, Jim? How you feel about that one?
I feel good about that one. With Nurkic out of the lineup, I know the way they like to play, and I know how Lillard and McConnell will take a personal. They want to beat these Warriors so badly. Who cares if Steph isn't there? So I think this will be a really nice spot. Okay. All right. I'm going to check some comments in a second, see what good comments there are there, see if there are any comments that might be worthy of going on the fantasy poster that I have in my mind. We are going to get to the Miami-New England game in a second. Let me see. What are some of the other... There you go. The Boston line is creeping up, Jim. It's now up to 5.5 or 6. Interesting. Very, very interesting. I'll tell you what. Wow. I'm pulling my first half bet. I'm pulling it right now. I'm taking Boston. First half, minus 1.5, minus 110. I still like Chicago getting 7.5 on the full game or 7, but it's 1.5 or 2 market wide, and I am going to take Boston first half, minus 1.5, minus 110. So again, I could get a middle. If it lands on 2 or 3, it can happen. It's rare. A lot of times when you have a middle, you're thinking, oh, that would be so sweet if it hits, and it just goes way, way far away from landing. But sometimes it does, and it's really nice when that does happen. It's also fun to, from a recreational perspective, to have a no-lose situation and to root in a middle. You know what I mean? Sure. All right, so I'm sticking with my full game pick on Chicago plus 7.5, but I have pulled my under bet in the morning, and I've also pulled my Chicago plus 3.5 on the first half bet in the morning, and I'll either lose the juice on those or slight chance that I could get a middle on one or both of those. All right, anything else to say about the Charlotte OKC game? Anything else, Jim? The Golden State Portland game? That's a very interesting one, of course. I like where I stand with everything right now. There's big changes in the Celtics-Bulls game, which sometimes take a little more time to think about rather than just 30 seconds. The Hornets at Thunder is a tricky spot that I've been looking at all day. Westbrook has continued to play well in Paul George's absence, but we expect George back tonight. But Carmelo just looks awful. He looks so bad. 18.3 points, shooting 40.4 from the field. In the last 2 games that George missed, he went 12 for 40 from the field. Now Andre Robertson has a sprained ankle, questionable for tonight's game, so I think the scoring will go up because he misses most outside shots, and he's a great perimeter defender. Clifford now missing his 5th straight game with an undisclosed health issue. Hornets are dropping, but Kaminsky is back in the lineup, and Lamb, I believe, will both be back in the lineup. Batum is going to be out for an extended period. I wouldn't be surprised if he goes ahead and gets that surgery and we don't see him again for the rest of the year. This is a tricky spot with all the injuries, people coming in and out. Hornets are 1-10 on the road this year. The only time you can trust the Thunder seems to be at home, but even then you can't trust them for 4 quarters.
Absolutely. Okay, I'm looking at some comments here. Dolomite Rider. That's a cool as hell name. He likes the under in the Memphis game. Jim has already given that as an official pick. Brian Watson, guys, they took the Bulls game down at my bookie and SAA. Yes, that does happen a lot of times when there's uncertainty as far as the news coming out. Books will just pull it as they should because they don't want to get pounded on the wrong side of uneven information. Bookie Crusher says, my sorry-ass book isn't offering Boston first half. All right, that's a standard bet. NBA first halves, that's a totally standard bet. You might want to go to sportsbookreview.com, Bookie Crusher, and find a couple books that appear to be to your liking and that offer first halves on the NBA, because almost all do. All right, yes, Marcus Morris is out as well for Boston. I think we knew that one. David Hutton, what up, fellas? New viewer, but love the show. Thank you so much. Love hearing about your process. Thank you so much, David Hutton. Dolomite Rider also likes the under in the Bulls game. Okay, I'm not on that one way or the other. I am open for a middle, and I also did that with my own bet as well. I bet the under and then took it back on the over when I got the news. Let's see. Steven Mraz says Raptors low-hanging fruit. Wow, you think they're low? You think it's that obvious of a play?
Well, not that obvious of a play, but I'm very confident. They're a rested team. I know they just played against the Kings, but they've barely been playing over the last 3 weeks, and they're on this roll beating bad teams. It's not like they're going in having these tough matchups. Yeah, I agree. I think this Raptors spot is great. I was just waiting just to ensure that I didn't take them with Lowry out of the lineup. That's the only reason why I didn't put on the morning show, and then by waiting, I got a better line. Kyrie, sorry. I thought it was Kyle. Kyrie is out. Yeah, I like this spot for the Raptors. I like it a lot.
Yeah, and Michael Glassman with an interesting statistic here that goes to what you were saying there about how they're beating bad teams. Toronto 6-0 ATS last 6 road games against a team with a losing home record. So that's exactly what you were saying, Jim. Thank you very much, Michael Glassman, for that. Hey, I might be on the wrong side tonight. I wouldn't be surprised if the Raptors win, but it's like a 2 or 3 point game at 5 points with Gallinari back. I just decided to give it. Mela Pay La Sway likes over 215 on the Clippers game. Yeah, that was a lean for me. I bet it at 214 on the overnight line. I'm thinking about throwing that one on there as well, but not exactly sure. I'm thinking. And let's see other comments. All right.
Richie Rich likes the over in the Clips Raptors game.
Yeah. That's a lean, but Toronto played great defense last time, and the total might be a little bit inflated just because the Clippers have been going so high scoring recently. Although on the other end, we know what Toronto does. They love to put up 120. That's what they do.
That's what they've been doing night in and night out.
They put up 120. So if they lose, it's because the other team put up 123, and if they win, it's because the other team put up 108. You know what I'm saying? So we'll see. As of right now, I will hold off. What?
JP Fahy says Raptors are going to pump tonight like a stiff cock and a tight snatch.
Oh, okay. Very nice comment there. All right. Shall we move on?
Sure.
All right, so that's it. All right, so for the NBA, Jim has added, let's see, Toronto -4.5, -108, and the Memphis game under 194, -105. Those go on top of his picks that he gave in the morning show. And I have added the Clippers +5, -110. Jim and I going head-to-head in the Clippers game. And I've also taken back 2 of my games in the Boston game. Of course, I gave the Bulls on the first half, +3.5, -105 in the morning show, and I took it back. Boston first half -1.5, -110, and I also gave the under 198.5, -110 in the morning show, and I took it back, taking the over 194, -110 in this one. All right, let's move on to NHL. Jimmy the Bag. NHL. Let's see what we got here in the NHL. Of course, in the NHL, I took 3 controversial alt puck lines on the -1 lines. I took Colorado -1, Washington -1, and Florida -1. I'm feeling okay about them, particularly the Florida and Washington game. There were some opinions that taking Colorado on that bet was just throwing money away, which may be the case. And Jim, you like Pittsburgh, although you held off on giving it in the morning show. In the morning show, you only gave 1 play, right? Winnipeg on the puck line at +165, right, Jim?
Yes, and I am adding to those.
Okay, let's hear what you got. By the way, you beat a nice line move. Winnipeg is now +155 on the puck line. Nice job, Jim.
Yeah, it's a nice spot.
Just wanted to point it out.
Thank you, my friend. Dwayne Martin comes in and says, hello, boys. Not a first-time listener, but first-time commenting.
Oh, here we go. Very nice.
Your
Thank you very
show
much.
is boss.
Oh.
Love all the viewers' comments and your great insight and breakdowns. Bag, love the DePaul pick. I'm feeling it. Much love, Dwayne Martin. Thank you for being a part of this, my friend.
Thank you so much. Much love, Dwayne Martin. Awesome comment there, Jim.
I studied Pavlich a little harder this afternoon because I realized that I was hating on him because of how he played early in the year. He did play well against the Pens in a bet that I lost last week. And I like the Rangers here. I'm getting a giant number. And we talked a bit about how cold the Stars' power play is. And you know, the Rangers are 10-1-0 in their last 11 home games. They're rolling. They're scoring goals. And Zuccarello's playing so well in Zibanejad's absence. I was worried because I was thinking that we had Lundqvist in goal. And when I heard that Pavlich was in, I just kind of panicked and didn't know what to do and stayed off of it, which I'm fine that I did. But now after an afternoon sitting on it, I am going to take the Rangers on the puck line. Okay,
let's go for it. Let's see. The Rangers on the puck line. The best line right now would be, here, let me just go to puck lines. We use live lines in these shows. Hold on 1 second. Just got to find the Rangers on the puck line. Line shopping, best line for Jimmy the Bag on the Rangers. -1.5 will be +265 at Pinnacle.
Ooh,
very nice.
That's Rangers. A big number.
Oh, that sure is.
Fucking love it.
That sure +265. Jimmy the Bag liking the Rangers on the puck line. +265. That sure is a big number, man. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, I like it.
It's like when a girl is like jug smuggling, she takes off her shirt you weren't anticipating. You're like, ooh, that was bigger than I thought I was gonna get. You know what I'm saying, right?
Oh yeah.
I thought I was gonna get some small C's. I thought that might be some D's up in there. Woo, that is big. That's a
lot of that because it's sweater season too.
Yeah, so. nice little analogy there, right? But it is kind of an apt analogy. You're thinking, oh, Rangers on the puck line. I should be getting like 240, 245, and I'm like 265. You're like, woo,
yeah,
more than I was expecting, baby. All right. So what else do you want to do with this?
I am also taking the Pens on the puck line. I had a friend of the show tell me, and you remember saying Yari is better.
Yes.
Will become better than Matthew Murray. And I disagreed. He sent me a very interesting article about how good Yari's looking and what his potential is. And I'm sold. I'm not sold on Yari being better than Murray, but I'm sold on the Penguins this evening. And by waiting a little bit, I did get, I think, a little bit better of a number.
On the puck line?
Yeah.
Kind of. Not really. You're getting +140 if you want it.
Okay, yeah, it's not as good as I was hoping, but yeah, I will take +140. I really like the Pens here. They were incensed how they came out so poorly against the Leafs, and they're a veteran-led squad. And when you play the Avs, you need to have your best defensive players. Now they've got home ice, right? So they've got last change. Last change is enormous against a team like the Avalanche because if you can take care of McKinnon, Corral, McKinnon, and Landeskog, then none of the other guys can beat you. All
right. I'm probably on the wrong side there when I gave Colorado -1, although it did wind up being like a +380 line. But I'm probably on the wrong side there. Jim is on the Pitt puck line +140. All right. What else would you like to discuss, Jim? On
I am staying off the Capitals and Islanders game as well as the Panthers and Red Wings game. They're both interesting spots. And I know a lot of I've talked to a lot of my friends today who are on the Capitals. Oh yeah, Bernier is in that as well. Yeah. Sorry, I should have mentioned that. I think that's good. Although when Vasilevsky was Vasilevsky's the Lightning's goalie. When Varlamov was out of the lineup and Bernier knew he was playing every night, he started playing quite well. And we often see that with backups when they know that they're going to play every single night. They really step it up. When they have that one shot every 6 games, it's tough. Every little mistake weighs on your conscience. So I'm fine that Bernie's there. Oh, but I was saying a couple of my buddies are all over the Capitals tonight. They just think that they're trending in the right direction as a hockey team and the Islanders are trending in the wrong direction. And that they think that me talking about the Islanders' home record isn't a factor of isn't where they're at right now.
Right.
And my friends are saying that today, right now, the Capitals are trending in the right direction. And I agree with that sentiment. but I'm going to stay off this game at this point.
So I'm like, so Jim thinks the Capitals are trending in the right direction, but because that's what your statistical model told you. Like, no, that's what my friend told me. My friend told me.
No, they've won 4 straight.
Yeah, no, I know. I'm kidding around.
8 out of 10, 13-5 since November 1st.
Yeah, my friend, he knows the Capitals are trending in the right direction. No, I'm kidding around. I agree with him. I agree with your friend. I'm your friend.
You are my friend.
I think they're trending in the right direction. They are one of my picks. I did take them -1 on the reverse puck line, and at -1, the Caps are plus 200. So I'm taking that one, and I also have Florida -1 plus 206. And I was thinking about a whole bunch of of overs or first period overs. I was thinking about the Dallas Rangers first period over. What do you think about that?
I think that there could be goals
in this game.
I think there could be goals. Now, my issue with the Stars and the reason why I'm not taking over is just because of their horrible power play. But the Rangers have an offense that's just clicking right now.
Yes,
and there's no doubt about that. So.
And they can put up a goal on Lettinen here and there, right?
They can.
Sure, why not, right? Okay, I will take that one. I will take the Rangers first period over 1.5, and in the morning it was -117. Let's see where it is right now. The Rangers first period over. Let me find that one, and that is still right where it was in the morning, -117. You think I think that's okay, right?
I think that's okay. As we just talked about this, I don't trust this Dallas Stars team. I find like Jamie Benn and Seguin are elite, incredibly skilled hockey players that just don't give you 82 games this season.
Right.
And when are they going to? It's almost like Boogie Cousins. When are they going to play out of their mind, and when are they going to play poorly?
Yeah. All right. Well, I'll make a bet that either they can put up something in the first period, or maybe the Rangers put up 2. I'm taking the first period over on that one. 1.5 -117. And I was also thinking about Anaheim, even though a lot of people in the morning show were suggesting that they like Carolina. Carolina, of course, is off a bunch of losses in a row, not playing well. Maybe this is a game where they come out pissed. On the other hand, Anaheim, to my eye, looks like they're about to start to improve a little bit here and there. And
I think that's a good spot. What is the line that you're getting on?
Well, the line on Anaheim, it's a very they were right about where it was in the morning. It's right about here. What the hell is it? It's right about like -108, -110 or so. Let's see, where is it? Yeah, -107 at Pinnacle, -110 at other places.
Oh, because Getzlaf's confirmed to play.
Yeah.
I think this is a good spot for them. Let me just think. Can you give me a minute to?
I'm gonna review some comments here while Jim needs a minute for whatever he. Whoa! First comment I see, all in caps with 4 exclamation points, is from James Ross. Love Anaheim. All in caps, 4 exclamation points.
You know what? I'm going to jump all over. I'm going to take Anaheim to win this game with Getzlaf, but I'm going to take him on the puck line. I'm going to get a big score out of this. I think Getzlaf is such a motivator. He's just having him win these faceoffs in their own zone is a huge deal. And I like it. Okay,
looking right now at the -1.5 lines. Bookmaker has plus 245, and Bookmaker has plus 245, and the puck line and the money line part of that again is -107. So what do you want? You want the money line or the puck line, or what do you want?
I want the puck line.
Okay, all right. Jim's now going to take Anaheim on the puck line plus 245, and I will take that one as well, but I'll take him on the -1 line, and that will be -107 on the money line and plus 245 at Bookmaker currently on the puck line.
Our boy Abraham from Norway just came in. Lauri Markkanen ruled out.
Oh shit! Yeah. All right, that's what that tells you what the line move was for that. That's the answer to that. Let's see where that line is right now. I don't even want to look. But I already took back. All I got to do is cover the 7, and let's see. Yeah, it's now up to 6, market wide.
Yeah. I mean, that's fine. We're talking about a team that's got Portis and Mirotic back.
Yeah.
Obviously, Markkanen is a talent, but it's fine. We're dealing with a team with 4 bigs.
All right. Thank you for that information, though. Okay, let's get to some quick comments here. Let me just review some comments. All right. Let's see. JP Fahey, love the Ducks picks, fellas. Okay, hopefully we are, Getzlaf is a white guy video game says Getzlaf is a magician on the power play. Huge for the Ducks. Let's see. James Ross. Yeah, Jimmy getting on that Anaheim train. James Ross likes it. Let me just look at some other comments here. Caleb Ford saying, any of you guys here like the over in the FIU USF game? I could easily see that one being surprisingly high scoring. But of course, it could go over. That's why it's such a low total. So I'm passing on that one. I have no play and definitely no bet on that one. Also, let's see some other comments.
Raymond Coker thinks I'm totally wrong on South Florida. It's not a good pick. Says tonight, bad pick, Jimmy. I like it. When I studied it, I found an angle that I believed in, and I know that the line movement is alarming and uncomforting. But I'm going to stick with it.
Mohammed Joma says Pens will kill them. The best thing you can do in the NHL is back quality teams off a loss. They come out flat on a Saturday night against the Leafs. They come out focused here. Yeah, I agree with that. I think you're right. And I'm not going to pull my hat, but pull my hat. Looking for a comment talking about my hat. I'm not going to pull my pick, but I feel like I'm definitely on the wrong side.
And
on
that's
that one.
Brendan Gallagher's cousin.
What?
Mohammed is Brendan Gallagher, the Montreal Canadiens cousin.
Oh, really?
So Mohammed knows his hockey very well.
Yeah, very, very nice. Okay. All right. Reggie says, Pete, you still like the Rockets under? Yeah. I mean, I gave it at 228. That's where I bet it. And now it's down to 226, which is nice, although we've seen countless times those line moves in the NBA totals don't mean shit. But yeah, I like it. I didn't pull it. I'm on it. And there you go. All right. Let's see. Cup of Sun says, love you guys. Always tuning in. Appreciate it. You're both the best. Okay.
I love Cup of Sun. Great guy. Always giving positive energy. A great guy.
Absolutely. All right. So in NHL so far, Jim has added the Rangers on the puck line plus 265, the Pittsburgh puck line 140, and the Anaheim puck line plus 245. And I added the Rangers first period over minus 117 and the Anaheim -1 line, which is minus 107 on the money line and plus 245 on the puck line there. And let me just quickly scan my other leans before we move on. Yeah, I guess I was just thinking about the Anaheim puck line. I made that one an official play. The Anaheim -1 line. Yeah, a bunch of overs that I guess I'm going to pass on. The Islanders, the Washington Islanders game. What do you think about the over on that one? It's the Islanders
I like the over on that one, but the reason why I didn't jump on it is because the Islanders have not been scoring for whatever reason, and now they're going up against a team that's playing very well. I like the Islanders. We've seen how many goals they score at home.
Yeah,
that was a lean that I had as well that I didn't fire on.
And what do you think about the Colorado Pitt first period over? Because if Pitt comes out focused, like Mohammed Joma says, and they do come out and just like blow out Colorado, they might have 2 goals in the first 10 minutes, right?
Both backup goalies. Both sides have backup goalies. I could easily see why that would be a move.
All right, I'm taking the Colorado Pitt first period over. Colorado Pitt first period over 1.5. Let me just find the best line there. Colorado Pitt first period over. It is minus 113 at Pinnacle right now. Colorado Pitt first period over. I'm adding that on to the and then the full game over on that one on the Colorado Pittsburgh game, which I would also be leaning towards, is let me see. Where's the total on that one? Nope, I gotta pull another screen up here. The total on that one was 6, and now it is 6 minus 112.
Gerald Martinez says, I'm feeling the Pitt Colorado first period over.
Yes. And the only reason I don't want the full game over is because if Pittsburgh really does blow them out and it's 4-zip or 5-zip heading into the third period, you don't get the benefit of the empty net goal, and Pittsburgh, they're pissed off. But if they're heading into the third period up 4-zip, that might be good enough for them, right?
Yeah. They definitely. They don't overexert themselves. They're like the Spurs in that regard.
Yes, exactly. Oh, wow, we're doing some great analysis here, guys. Excellent analysis. All right, I'm taking the first period over on that one, and then let me just quickly scan my other leans, and then we will.
We have Dom Ricci coming in, a Long Island native, so he's got a good beat on what's going on there. He says Isles hit over after over, Jim.
Yeah.
Even when they don't score, they let up a lot. They let a lot of goals in.
Yeah. And you know what? Just because it would be a no-balls play if I didn't give it, I will also give the Washington Islanders first period over. First period over on that one. So I'm on 3 first period overs. I wound up taking them all. Let me just quote the best line on that one. Washington Islanders first period over. That one is also minus 117. All right. So I'm throwing that one on as well, Jim.
I like it. Cup of Sun lets us know that he is actually an energy healer for a living, other than a sports bettor.
No shit.
No lie. And he says he runs his own studio in the voodoo city of New Orleans.
No shit.
He says, good vibes, brother.
Oh, Cup of Sun. My soul, as Jimmy knows, my insides are all fucked up. I need massive healing. I'm like reading books about fucking ayahuasca and mushrooms and microdosing with MDMA. Whatever the fuck will help. Maybe I should go see Cup of Sun.
I think Cup of Sun, we got to get him to come down here to Costa Rica. But, you know, a bunch of my boys do ayahuasca.
Really?
They go down and
I need that shit. I'm just concerned that if I fix my internal emotional problems, I won't be as good of a handicapper, because I've definitely noticed that's the second thing I noticed. When the first thing I noticed is that I'm better at handicapping my hometown teams than every other team in the country. The second thing I noticed is that I always handicap way better when I'm either sick or angry or in a bad mood or pissed off than when I feel good.
That's interesting, because I've noticed that I do better when I'm tired. When I'm really tired, when I say, oh, I didn't sleep last night for whatever reason, my numbers are higher. I don't know what to make of it.
Yeah, you know, a lot of things, because I can tell you what it is. What it is, you know, are you seeing things for what they are, or are you letting your biases, whatever they may be, get in the way? And for me, I know that it's like when I'm pissed off and angry or feeling sick, you know, I just see things more clearly for what they really are, as opposed to, you know what I mean?
Lee Davis in all capital says, no, Pete, don't change.
Okay, all right. Lee Davis, I will not change. I'm going to stay miserable, stay positive EV in sports betting, and stay funny. How about that?
But Cup of Sun says he will come down to Costa Rica for us, so that would help.
I don't know. Would I rather be happy and a shitty handicapper, or miserable and a great handicapper?
Miserable.
Miserable. Exactly. It's not even close.
No,
it's not even close.
Yeah,
I'd rather be unpleasant, unhappy every second of the day, and be able to come on here and give winning picks. All right, so let's review all the NHL picks that we have added, and then we will move on to the next segment. Jim is on Rangers puck line plus 265, Pittsburgh puck line plus 140, and the Anaheim puck line plus 245. He also added on in the NBA, Toronto minus 4.5, and the Memphis game under 194 minus 105. And in college basketball, Jim is on South Florida minus 2.5, Texas Southern plus 20.5, and DePaul minus 24. Now, in NHL, I have added, the Anaheim minus 1 line, minus 107 on the money line, and plus 245 on the puck line. I added the Rangers first period over, minus 117, the Colorado Pitt first period over, minus 113, and the Washington Islanders first period over, minus 117. And in college basketball, only one official play right now, Texas Southern first half plus 12, minus 105. That was the line at UWager. And in the NBA, I added on Clippers plus 5 going head-to-head with Jim, and also took back. Now I'm happy that I took those two back, because this is going to be a crazy game. Who the hell knows what's going to happen, right? With all these guys out. Yeah. I think it's going to go over. That's what I like though right now, though. But I threw on the Chicago over 194 minus 110 to hedge out of my underplay from the morning, and I also took the Boston first half line minus 1.5 minus 110 to hedge out of my morning play on the Bulls plus 3.5 on the first half. All right, shall we move on to NFL, Jim?
Definitely.
All right, let's move on to NFL. In the morning show, of course, I gave Miami plus 11 as an official pick, and that is now down to 10.5 or 10, although UWager is still high in 11, but Bookmaker is already down to 10. Pinnacle's down to 10.5 minus 109 on the side of Miami. And Jim and I both gave the under at 48.5, and now the Greek is the only book that has 48.5. Everyone else has 48, including Pinnacle. Have seen some comments here saying that they really like the over. Some people, in the opening in the morning show. What are you looking at?
Oh, there's just so many interesting comments. This is amazing. Christopher Walker says, let's start a gambling tribe in Costa Rica. Open a resort where you can drink all the tea, eat shrooms, smoke weed, and pick winners. You forgot that one.
Absolutely.
Man, just what a great group of guys.
What a great group. I really appreciate it. I love it all. Okay, so Jimmy the Bag, some people have been I'm okay with taking Miami at plus 11, even though it's just you give Belichick an extra day, all that crap. I know I don't like to bet against Belichick ever, but if I'm ever going to do it, it's going to be with kind of an iffy team at home in warm weather at this point in the season, getting double digits, right?
And without Gronk.
Right, and without Gronk. Okay, the question on the over, I've seen a lot of people suggesting that they like the over. Of course, recently the Pats have gotten some blowout wins where they've had very strong defensive performance. Right, I think their last game was the one they won 23-3. What do you think about this game, Jim? Any change of heart on any of your opinions here?
Well, I have the under 48.5, and my only concern is without tight ends, they're going to go on these 4 wide sets and go for big scores. That's a legitimate concern.
Yeah.
They won't be moving the ball slowly down the field. They could be getting 30 yards at a time on some of these plays with 4 wides. And Brady is comfortable in all passing situations. The more wide receivers you give him, the better more he likes. I mean, obviously he loves tight ends. But so in saying that, I am a little concerned, but it's a nice high number, 48.5. We're not dealing with a 41 or a 42. I think this is a good spot for the Dolphins at a big plus double-digit spot. But I'm not going to take it. The Patriots just give you no reason to ever bet against them, at least for the last 6 weeks.
Yeah, they've covered 6 in a row.
It's unbelievable. Just rolling. Absolutely rolling. As they do every year, Belichick just seems to figure it out. He's a fucking genius. But I'm going to stick with my under 48.5.
Right. Jesse Daly says the Pats cover without Gronk all the time. Absolutely, that's true. I mean, obviously, the Pats' awesomeness is, mostly due to Belichick and also Brady, and the other pieces seem to almost not matter. And I think that was like the third thing, but the third revelation I had when I was starting sports betting. I was like, man, as long as Belichick's the coach, you don't ever want to bet against the Pats. And in fact, when it looks like, here we go, the next level 11 predicts a score of Pats 72, Dolphins 3. Yeah, look, that may well, okay. Ray Uribe says, think back to week 11, New England rolled into Buffalo minus 14. They crushed them, won by 20 points, laying points tonight, Patriots. On the other hand, where's that guy who made that comment? Where the hell is it? Yeah, Corey Jean. Brady is historically bad in Miami, though. 7-8 there on the road. Just don't see Cutler keeping up, Pete. Yes, and again, look, Cutler sucks. One of the most consistent winning bets I've made over the years has been fading Cutler as a favorite. Right? I've faded Cutler as a favorite almost every time out. I can't even remember the last time Cutler was a favorite, and I didn't bet against him. This is going back years. Here, though, they're getting double digits.
M-Dog has a really good point here that I'd like to hear with where we're at, because we're both on there. He says, Pats are all business tonight.
Yes.
Going to run the ball, run the clock,
Yep.
get the win, and get out of town. Take the under.
There you go. And that also would suggest maybe that they're not looking for a double-digit win here. If they're up by 8 or 9 or 10, going in late, run out the clock. And Miami will just be like, all right, we're tired. We lost. Let's get the hell out of here. Excellent point by M-Dog. Pats are all business tonight. Going to run the ball, run the clock, get the win, and get out of town. Take the under. We'll see. Look, I'm going to go with it. If the Pats win by 30, will I be shocked? Will I be even a little bit surprised? Not at all. Will I be happy with the loss, eating the loss? Yes. And I'm taking the under at 48.5 as well. Jimmy the Bag, you're on the under as well. You're not on a side here. What do you want to do?
Just want to stick with where I'm at. I can see it going a couple different ways, but like we talked about the Penguins and like we talked about the Spurs, Belichick couldn't care less about smoking some teams. There's some teams he does like to smash in the mouth, but I just don't see this late in the year why he'd want to stomp on the Dolphins. They're already a nobody, not going to make the playoffs. So I hope they just make it clinical. Last week, Lewis went 15 for 92 yards. Burkhead went 12 for 78 yards. I mean, that is a prolific rushing attack, two-headed monster that's looking very good, and I would like to see a lot of that again.
Okay, here's an interesting comment from Marrakech City, and this actually, when the Super Bowl comes around, we'll have a lot more to say about this. Here he goes. Safe bet, Miami to cover and Brady over 289 passing yards, so you get paid both ways or one of those two ways. Yeah, that is very interesting, and in fact, there are some professional sports bettors I know who only bet or primarily bet props, and a big thing that they do is they do exactly what Marrakech City is suggesting here. They hedge out a prop that's correlated or anti-correlated with another prop or with other bets, and they wind up with situations like that where they have a positive EV where they don't necessarily have to handicap the games necessarily, although if they have an edge on a game, they can enhance their edges even further. But yes, you can absolutely use props to hedge out some of your other bets if you know what you're doing. It's a little bit advanced, but it's definitely one of the profitable ways that you can approach these games for sure.
Yeah, Marrakech City, I don't remember having him much in this chat. He's had some really interesting ideas, concepts. Great to have you, man.
Yes, and a lot of people liking the under. Cup of Sun says, I like the under too. Christopher Walker says, under is the play here. Let's see, Graham Johnson says Cutler is a legend. Okay. And then Dan Kelly said it has an interesting theory on why Brady might struggle in Miami. He says Brady might have a second family in Miami, which is, yes, there you go.
Brady doesn't need a second family,
very
man.
possible. Very possible.
Brady's class.
All right, so let's see. Other here. Small Thrill says betting Miami gets a back door. That could be a possibility as well. Yeah. Doug W says Pats are going to put up big points. Pats 35, Miami 27. All right, so we're all over the place here.
Aspire to Elate's on the same thing. Says Pats kill Miami tonight 31-10.
Tons of people liking the under, tons of people liking the over, tons of people liking the Pats. Not that many people liking Miami, but a few people liking Miami. So basically, we're all over the board. We're all over the map here, which the books love, right? Books love multiple strong opinions on both sides of a game, which I guess we have. Jim and I are taking shots with the under at 48.5, which we got earlier in the day, and I'm taking a shot with Miami plus 11. And, we could be totally wrong. Bucket Bonds 423. Pats and under, 7 sacks last. How was the defense tonight? Lee Davis, Pats love smashing division teams, but I agree with Jimmy. They may just want to win, stay healthy, and get out of here, especially with Brady having some what is it, his Achilles heel, his Achilles tendon is a little bit iffy.
He's a little banged up.
Yeah. So we shall see. All right. Let's see. Other comments here.
Vishnu A says, I'm going to put money line on the Dolphins. It's Mercury retrograde. I don't know what the hell that means.
Espiritalate says, what is going on here? Pats kill Miami tonight, 31-10, which, for me would be okay because I get a push. I'd cash the under and lose with Miami, and Jim, of course, would get a win on the under. So we'll see. We'll see how it turns out. It might be another 23-7 game, in which case the under will be a big casher, and I'll eat a loss. We'll see how it all turns out. It'll be very, very interesting for sure. Okay, David Hutton says, I'm with you, Loshak. Have a Baltimore Pats parlay going. Okay, very nice. That was one of your plays last week, right?
Yeah.
Baltimore lost, but they got the cover, and we might see a similar situation here. All right. Lot of a spirited discussion on this Pats. That's why they put this on the Monday night game, because they know that everyone's going to be having strong opinions.
Forgot about best bets.
Best bets.
I got my Friday best bet with just a few seconds left in the game.
Jesus, I don't know. Best bets. Okay, holy shit. I don't know. What the fuck do I know?
I know what it is. Now, you might say, how could this be your best bet if you weren't on it in the morning? But I said all along I wanted to see that Getzlaf was guaranteed to play. I think the Ducks at plus 245 with Getzlaf and Hampus Lindholm back, and possibly Silverberg. We haven't heard about that. I think that's a great great
we
spot.
did get it at 245. It's now down to 240 at bookmakers, so it does appear to be headed down, and 235 at you, Adrian. I don't know. It's like 20 bets here. Which one is my favorite? They're all approximately the same. I guess I don't fucking know. What the fuck do I know? I guess I don't know. Okay. I'll say Colorado-Pittsburgh first period over, because I think you're right. If Colorado is playing well, they probably score early, and if Pittsburgh is pissed off and they come in focused, they might put up 2 goals in the first 10 minutes, and then you got your first period over. So I don't really like that one more than any of the other picks, but if I have to give one, that's what I'll say. Colorado-Pittsburgh first period over at about minus 117 or 113.
I see that.
See it?
Yeah.
Yep. All right. So shall we wrap it up, Jim? Shall we wrap this shit up? You want to get to any final illuminating comments that have come in at the end here?
Man, I get so excited to sit beside Pete and to break down these sports, these events with you guys. Thank you so much for all your helpful insight, your great ideas, and let's have a big week.
Yeah.
Let's get started right.
And I forgot, because there's so many great comments and all this analysis that we're doing. The Marketology segment with Drew Martin and what the hell is the guy's name from
Matt Holt.
Matt Holt from Technology from live from Vegas will come in, and they will do that. They will be doing that show every Monday. It's going to come on right after our show, and you don't even have to go anywhere. You don't even have to click a different link. It's going to come on right immediately after our like a television station, right, Jim?
Just like a television station.
All right, so before we throw it over to the Marketology segment with Drew Martin and Matt Holt, let's just review all of the picks that we have added. These are not all of our picks. These are just the picks we've added. Jim has added South Florida minus 2.5, Texas Southern plus 20.5, and DePaul minus 24 in college basketball. In NBA, he's added Toronto minus 4.5, and the Memphis under 194. And in hockey, he added the Anaheim puck line, Pittsburgh puck line, and the Rangers puck line at plus 265. Anything I missed there, Jim?
No, those are all the additions.
Yes, and the additions that I have added: Texas Southern first half plus 12. That's going to be my only college basketball pick of the day. Washington in the NHL, Washington Islanders first period over, Colorado Pittsburgh first period over, and the Rangers first period over. And I also added the Anaheim minus one line. And in the NBA, I added Boston first half minus 1.5. That's a hedge out of my morning play. I added the over in the Chicago-Boston game at 194. That's also a hedge out of my morning play. And I added the Clippers plus 5 minus 110, going head to head with Jimmy the Bag. All right, great show, Jim.
Yeah, man.
Monday, we'll see. I can't wait to see who turns out to be right and who turns out to be wrong in tonight's Monday Night Football game. Now we're going to throw it over to Marketology, Matt Holt from CG Technology, of course, interviewed by SBR's own Drew Martin. Thanks, guys, for tuning in.
Welcome in to Marketology, where we're getting a view from the other side of the counter with the Vice President at CG Technology, Matthew Holt. Find him on Twitter at Matthew Holt VP. Matt, welcome in. How you doing today, buddy?
Hey, Drew, how's it going? And hey, look, another tough weekend where the Sunday night underdog saved the books from a losing day. It's been a real grind in the NFL, a lot of these favorites and popular teams getting home.
Yeah, no, great point, Matt. That's right where I wanted to start, kind of a recap of last night. I mean, I guess it did save you, but wasn't there a little bit of an issue with Pitt winning the game outright? Did that kind of hurt you with the parlays?
Yeah, it sure did, but it would have been a lot worse had Pittsburgh covered the spread with parlays there. So we were thankful just to get the cover there by Baltimore in a game that we probably should have won, considering they were up 11 in the fourth quarter. But once again, all the popular picks getting home on Sunday. The Chiefs getting home easy. The LA Chargers getting home easy. Philadelphia Eagles, the #1 most bet team yesterday, got home at the end. So another tough day for the book, and what has been another grinding NFL second half of the season, just like last year.
Matt, it's kind of wild. I can almost hear it in your voice, man. I mean, it was a tough day for the books. But, hey, staying in the NFL, we got the Eagles. Carson Wentz going down. How do you think that's affecting, going in the future with the Eagles? Their Super Bowl odds. Also, the New York Giants at home catching 8 against the Eagles. Obviously, that has something to do. What are you looking for in the Eagles going forward?
So, look, we've seen some drastic turnarounds and, changes here from quarterbacks and to their backups this year. Andrew Luck, at the beginning of the year before Jacoby Brissett took over, was perceived to be worth 8 points to his backup. We saw the drop-off from Aaron Rodgers in Green Bay be about 8 points when he first went out. Carson Wentz felt like a big one, especially since he was in the MVP race, but Foles came in yesterday in a tough spot on the road, led the Eagles to victory in a game that was back and forth the whole way out. But interestingly, while it may not have affected last week's win or this week's game, which was going to be Philly -10 with Carson Wentz in there, now opened Philly -8 with Nick Foles and went to Philly -8.5. So we actually took money on Philly with Nick Foles starting, where I think you're seeing the biggest drop-off is in the Eagles now potential to win the Super Bowl, where they were 5-1. We moved them all the way up to 12-1 from 5-1 this morning. And just to win the NFC, they were plus 240 all the way up to 4-1 already, just one day after a win for Philadelphia, who still has the best record in the NFC. So I think the biggest drop off for the Eagles is in the futures market, more so than on the game-to-game basis.
And man, I want to get to college basketball, but first, just off the top of my head, I've heard a lot of people talk about the handle in college football growing compared to the NFL. Is that how you guys are seeing it? Is the NFL still kind of the king of maybe sports betting handle in college football closing the gap? Or is college football actually getting to the level of the NFL, or is that just straight rumors?
So, it's getting close, and the gap certainly isn't closing. If you just take dollars wagered on a per-game basis, the NFL is still by far the most dominant league that there is of all the sports, and it's not even close. But it has been a growing trend last year that I think of the 15 or 14 weeks where you have college football and NFL games, in 12 of those weeks, there was more dollars wagered on a college football Saturday than an NFL Sunday. Same thing this year. I think it was 11 out of 14 weeks where they have overlap, or 11 out of 13 weeks where there's overlap. The college football Saturday has more handle than an NFL Sunday. Now, of course, there's 3 times as many games on a college football Saturday than an NFL Sunday, but just the fact that there's more dollars wagered on college football on Saturday than NFL on Sunday shows you that the gap is closing, because 5 years ago, nobody would have said that's possible.
And Matt, going on the college basketball wise, we got Duke losing to BC, and also we're 33% of the way through the college basketball regular season. Are you seeing the growth in the college basketball handle as well?
Yeah, college basketball always starts to take off this time of year. This weekend, we saw the first big boom in college basketball because it was the first Saturday with no college football, and that tends to happen. People want to bet on Saturdays. The Sharps love college basketball when it starts. It's a really sharp sport in November. And then December comes along, college football ends, and all of a sudden, everyone loves college basketball again. And we saw some unbelievable upsets. To your point, Duke losing in the first weekend, where we see the big boom in college basketball. I think the biggest surprise, look, and I love big long shots in college hoops, especially in the futures market, but the biggest surprise so far, preseason, 300 to 500 to 1 range, Arizona State, all the way up to number 5 in the country now, and down to 40 to 1, and still dropping constantly to win the national championship.
Yeah, it's a hell of a move, and we know Arizona State with that guard play, that could really help them in the tournament. What about in the NBA? We're seeing money on the Portland Trailblazers over Golden State. Now, it's happened a couple times this year with Golden State getting faded, unlike last year. What are you seeing with the Warriors?
Yeah, and that's interesting because, to your point, look, we never saw really, it was every single night, Warriors, Warriors, Warriors. You needed, whoever was playing the Warriors, you needed them for a lot of money. The Warriors accent just flowed in, and the Sharps weren't fading the Warriors last year, despite huge point spreads, and either the Sharps were on the Warriors or they didn't want to get in front of that freight train. But we've seen with the injuries to Draymond Green, Steph Curry, even Kevin Durant this year, that the Warriors aren't the same team they were last year, and we're seeing more and more dollars wagered against the Warriors every day. In fact, tonight marks the 3rd straight game where we need the Warriors tonight, and right now we need them for a pretty good clip. And suddenly, for the first time in a couple of years, what we're also seeing is people betting unders on Golden State games, which was one of the scariest things to do there for about 2 seasons.
And Matt, on to college football with the first bowl games this Saturday. Are you starting to see more of a handle maybe for the Saturday games or for bowl games overall? Or does it more, bettors come in kind of when the lines are released and then just until game day, nobody's really betting the college bowl games?
So the games themselves overall this week aren't great, but what we tend to see this week, and we'll see a ton of it starting Wednesday night and into Thursday, is people betting the Las Vegas Bowl. As fans of Oregon and Boise State get here, Boise State's in the same conference as UNLV, who plays here locally anyway, so the fans here locally are very familiar with Boise State already. That's already the most wagered on game for Saturday. It probably is the best game this Saturday, but it's not always the best first week game of the season. It just happens to be that it is this year. But we'll see a ton of handle on the Las Vegas Bowl since it is here. It has 2 popular teams in Oregon and Boise State. But I think the rest of the handle for most of the other bowls will start to kind of flow in more next week, the week after, other than the playoff games, who have already both eclipsed more than $250,000 of handle apiece, and we still have almost 3 weeks to go.
Good stuff from the other side of the counter. That's Matt Holt, Vice President at CG Technology. Give him a follow on Twitter at Matthew Holt VP. Thanks, guys. We'll be back next Monday with another Marketology segment.